Aston Villa are reportedly pushing to sign Chelsea forward Nicolas Jackson in what would be an £80 million blockbuster move, according to Fabrizio Romano. But while Unai Emery is said to love the player, many questions are being raised about whether this deal makes any sense for Villa. The Midlands club have endured a frustrating summer window, and missing out on Champions League football last season only made matters worse. So far, their only first-team additions have been goalkeeper Marco Bizet and defender Van Gesand. Worse still, the club were forced into selling academy product Jacob Ramsey to Newcastle United in order to raise funds, a move that did not sit well with the fans. Now, instead of addressing key weaknesses across the squad, Villa appear set on splashing an eye-watering £80 million on Nicolas Jackson, a player who has struggled to convince at Chelsea. Jackson arrived at Stamford Bridge with high expectations, but his time in London has been plagued by inconsistency, poor finishing, and questions over his decision-making. Despite being described as a monster for his physical attributes, the 23-year-old has failed to establish himself as a reliable Premier League striker. Under new boss Enzo Maresca, Jackson has fallen even further down the pecking order. Chelsea have added Liam Delap, João Pedro, Jamie Gittins, and teenage sensation Estivao, while also targeting Alejandro Garnacho from Manchester United. That recruitment spree makes it clear that Jackson is no longer part of the Blues' long-term plans. For Villa, spending £80 million on a player Chelsea are desperate to move on looks like a huge gamble. Supporters have already expressed concerns that the club are not strengthening wisely, and the idea of breaking the transfer record for a forward who struggled in London is not exactly reassuring. Romano insists Emery loves Jackson and sees him as the ideal player to fit into Villa's high-intensity system. But Emery's admiration does not erase the glaring issues. Jackson is far from a proven goalscorer, and with Ollie Watkins already the main man up front, many argue that Villa's money would be better spent reinforcing other areas of the pitch. The price tag is another major sticking point. Chelsea's £80 million valuation feels inflated, particularly for a player they are clearly willing to offload. Given Villa's financial limitations, highlighted by Ramsey's sale, committing that kind of fee could leave the club badly exposed if Jackson fails to deliver. In truth, this looks less like a clever piece of business and more like desperation. Having missed out on Champions League football, Villa seem intent on making a statement signing, but the risk of overpaying for a player with question marks over his consistency could backfire badly. If Villa are serious about challenging the top six, they must invest smartly, not emotionally. Jackson might have potential, but at £80 million, the move feels reckless. Emery may love him, but fans will only love the deal if it delivers results, and right now, it looks like an expensive mistake waiting to happen. Stay up to date with the latest news, headlines, and highlights about Aston Villa. Subscribe to our channel for exclusive content, and don't forget to like and share with fellow villains. Join our community today and get the most out of your Aston Villa experience. Hit the notification bell to stay notified about new content.